I just didn't want to give the Pacers credit. I really couldn't. I thought most of the games would go the way this game went. The Pacers run out to leads because they have streaky teams, and then they get cold because they run this 7 seconds or less offense that Mike D'Antoni wished he could have run as fast as they run. They're going up against a team that has the MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is deadly from inside. If you foul this guy, he's going to hit foul shots at the end of the game. He hit 6 of them. And we have some highlights, and we'll show them to you in a little bit. But they're not going to show you the last minute of the game because it was just foul shot, back and forth, foul shot, back and forth. After Shai made sure that he took over and scored a bunch of buckets in a row to get them the lead. And then he wouldn't allow them to come back. Here we have some of it. And guess what? It's all mid-range. It defies the analytics, Speedy.
Yes, it does.
It defies the analytics. Well, there's a couple of threes. But he's a great player. He just dices guys up. Why aren't they sending 2 guys at him? I'll tell you why. Because he'll find the open man. They can't. He does it very differently than Brunson. Brunson kind of comes off the angles a little bit more than Shai. Shai's willing to do this with his handle. And that's what's scary. He can go either direction, straight up on you at any point in time. He's longer than Brunson, so he can get his shot over more guys, even though Brunson always seems to get it off with his turnarounds. I just love watching this guy play. I don't get to see a lot of them, kind of out west. I don't stay up late enough to see all of it. I'm a teacher. Look, guys, let's face it. I wake up early. It's tough. I'll watch the highlights. I watch most of the games that start at 7. It's just, or 8 o'clock, for this time of the year. It's real important that you give the proper respect. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, my God. I still think Jokic probably should have deserved MVP. I just think Jokic is a one of one. And you sometimes get tired of giving the same guy the MVP. But he's doing stuff as a 2-guard that we haven't seen since guys like Kobe, since guys like Jordan. I'm not calling him Kobe or Jordan, but the way he's playing, very reminiscent, Speedy.
It's a well-rounded game that he has. Like you said, he defies the logic with not having to force threes, not having to rely on threes like you see other point guards do. And again, the mid-range game, I always said it's fine if it's open. Like, obviously you don't want to force shots. You're not going to play iso ball all the time. But if the shot's open, the shot is open, you take it. And the Thunder have enough size to be able to compensate that with either offensive rebounding or you try to make him guard it, and then you could get more inside looks. Or you might get more one-on-one matchups where he is able to drive to the hoop or he is able to drive to get free throws. And that's the type of guy that he is. And the Thunder have a lot of players like that. They don't have one-way type of players that are just specialty shooters or just specialty inside guys. You got a balanced big man with Jalen Williams, who, again, can be a three-point shooter kind of streaky. But again, OKC didn't have to rely on that because they only shot 16 threes. They only made 3 of them. That wasn't the game plan, obviously. But they have enough guys where they can play different styles with everybody all at once. And it was just a matter of time where their offensive depth wasn't the same kind of liability like you saw in Game 3, because the Pacers in Game 3 outscored the Thunder wings and guards off the bench drastically, and that was the big difference in Game 3 when the Pacers were able to run away with it in the fourth quarter. The Pacers looked like they were doing that again, and then the Thunder got some of those guys to finally elevate their games off the bench and didn't let them drastically have that type of rotation advantage that they claim to have in game number 3. And they have enough type of defenders to play versatile type defense as well. There's, like we were talking about in the preview, there's no defensive liability on the OKC Thunder whatsoever. And they finally played some matchups that worked against being able to shut down Siakam at certain points in that game. Haliburton was good, but not amazing. And that's the type of number one type hyper-efficient defense we've seen OKC play. They were talking about, I don't know which writers it was, but OKC, if they win this title, like one of the best defenses ever for a championship team. And there's parts of this postseason where they haven't played like it. Now, granted, I think most of their duds have been more on offense, but it's still sometimes where the Pacers, who are not this overly talented team, yes, Keith, not this overly talented team, have exposed in certain instances because of coaching. And now you're finally seeing that OKC Thunder defense that you're expecting to see late in that game, late in the fourth quarter, when they only allowed 18 points.
You know what's fun? It's realizing that my beloved Knicks, they weren't so bad stopping Pascal Siakam because no one's stopping him. I think we need to give him a little bit of credit. He's got 20 points in this game, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had 5 steals. Yeah, so listen to this line from Siakam. He had +7 in a game that they lost by 7, so keep that in mind. 8 boards, 5 assists, 5 steals, and a block. He's doing that from the power forward position against being guarded by either Chet or maybe they switch Hardenstein onto him every once in a while. That's 2 pretty good defensive players, and he's still doing that. I mean, that guy, he gave the Knicks everything they could have. He won 2 games by himself in that series, in my opinion, and they did give him the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Is it going to be enough? Well, not if Oklahoma City has a game like they did in Game 4. Listen to these free throw numbers, Speedy. Chet, 6 of 6 from the line. Jalen Williams, 11 of 11 from the line. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 10 of 10 from the line. This is all in the same game.
Hey, Jalen Williams is the key to that, too.
27 points, 7 boards, 3 assists for Jalen Williams.
Don't forget your boy Alex Caruso.
And that's who I wanted to get to as well. Caruso, not as elite of a shooter. He also put up 20 points, 7 of 9 from the field, hit 1 of 2 threes, 5 of 7 from the line. I mean, the amount of they were 34 of 38 from the free throw line, shooting 89.5%. It's hard to beat a team that does that, especially if you're behind at the end of a game. This team has just been able to pull away from other teams all year. All year. You look back all year, why they won so much. A lot of it has to do with just simple things like free throw shooting and just doing what you're supposed to do. Make all your layups. We don't see a ton of missed easy bunnies by this team. Haliburton was named by the players the most overrated player in all of basketball.
Yeah,
I would argue Trae Young's the most overrated player in all of basketball.
I had that title in
Did
baseball.
You?
Yep.
Like in a MLBPA anonymous vote.
Yep.
I don't think anyone's gonna be saying that about Haliburton anymore. But how did like obviously this is a motivator.
You have younger guys that are trying to be those types of instigators too. Because I mentioned it too when we were talking about Anthony Edwards. Like, there's not a lot of those younger players that are as much of the LeBron types as there are in with his generation, and maybe Haliburton is starting to get to that kind of extent. I don't think he actually brings it on himself like as much, where he's saying all these like super egregious things like you're seeing Anthony Edwards do sometimes. But besides like I would say Joel Embiid, like there's not really as much like the last 10 years worth of these NBA superstars of guys that are doing that as much as what Haliburton is doing. But again, there's a difference where Haliburton's actually putting it up and it's fueling the fire. And what you've seen OKC do is not have any guys like talking back at him trying to fire him up. And obviously he earned it with the buzzer beater in Game 1, playing as well as he did. But it's still going to be something that OKC is taking into account of we're going to make him stay humble type thing and not give him the extra firing up, especially now with Game 5 tonight at home where OKC doesn't lose very often.
The thing that I always said is, bench doesn't travel all that well. You usually have your great performances from your bench players like Mathurin, like we saw in Game 3 when he put up 27 points in 22 minutes, one of the all-time heat checks of anyone, and that he turned the tide in that game, and that's why it's 2-2. Take a look at what he did in Game 4. He had 8 points. He had a crucial handful of missed foul shots because they knew he wasn't ready for the moment, so they fouled him. Doesn't matter what his percentage is during the season. When it comes to this time of the year, and Joba, an out in the ninth inning during May is not the same as an out in the ninth inning during October.
Especially
it's
for
a big
relievers.
difference, right? It's a big, big difference, and a foul shot at this point of the year. I mean, we know it ruined, remember Nick Anderson ruined his whole career. It was a three-pointer, and he missed all three, and then he missed another one. He got the yips and never was able to play again at that level. But let's just give everyone our picks. I think the Thunder are going to win this in 6, but then again, I've said the Thunder were going to win it in 5. I thought that they were going to be able to do this a little bit more handily. I think at this point in the series, I like what I see out of the Thunder. I think they may have solved this puzzle. If they shoot as well as they did last game, I don't see any reason why they don't win in 6. What do you got, Speedy?
Yeah, I had Thunder in 6 initially. Again, I was surprised they lost Game 1. I was thinking it was going to be kind of more of a pattern, but again, we've seen it still be that way to an extent, kind of those closer middle-scoring games. I think this one's probably a little lower scoring. We've seen a slower pace to start, but I think OKC still takes it the next two.
And Joba.
I'm going to go Thunder in 7.
Thunder in 7. So we're all kind of doubting the Pacers and the Haliban over there. Hopefully...
The Haliban.
The Haliban.
I love it.
It's not a bad nickname.